Derrick Martell Rose, the Chicago kid out of Memphis University, was the standout player in college. He led his team all the way to the NCAA championship, where Rose and the Tigers would ultimately fall short. Even with the loss, Rose proved to be one of the most eccentric guards in basketball. When the Chicago Bulls ended up with the #1 pick in the lottery, things were lining up for the hometown hero to revitalize this struggling Bulls franchise.
With the first pick in the 2008 NBA Draft, the Chicago Bulls select Derrick Rose from the University of Memphis.
Revitalize he did. Rose played a huge role in beginning a new era of Chicago basketball, as not only would a very impressive rookie campaign win him Rookie of the Year over some future Hall of Famers in Kevin Love and Russell Westbrook while averaging 16.8 points and 6.3 assists, he'd cap off the year by going toe-to-toe with the reigning NBA champions, the Boston Celtics, in the first round. Although the Bulls didn't win this series, Rose tied Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for most points in a playoff debut with 36 and took the Boston Celtics to 7 games in one of the most impressive rookie performances in playoff history. 2 seasons later, Derrick Rose really got his opportunity to solidify himself as an icon and a Chicago legend.
You won the Rookie of the Year award. You made your first All-Star team a year ago. Now people around the league are talking about you taking the next jump to becoming a top 10 player in the league. I know you've never been one to back away from a challenge. What kind of expectations do you set for yourself individually going into year 3?
It's high. The way I look at it within myself, why not? Why can't I be the MVP of the league? Why can't I be the best player in the league? I don't see why.
Derrick Rose had his most impressive season in the 2010-2011 season. The speed, athleticism, and acrobatics were on full display for Derrick Rose. He pulled out all of the stops and became the youngest MVP in league history, averaging 25 points, 7.7 assists, and leading the Bulls to a 62-20 record. That was good enough for first seed in the East, winning more games than the newly formed super team in Miami with the Heatles and LeBron James.
You led this Bulls team to the best record in the NBA. You are the youngest MVP in NBA history, and in a league of very valuable players, you are the most valuable, and it is my pleasure to award to you the Kia NBA 2010-11 MVP trophy.
The Bulls came into the playoffs with all the momentum, easily dispatching of the Pacers and Hawks in the first 2 rounds, only losing a total of 3 games during that span. This led the Bulls to a matchup head-to-head with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and company on the Miami Heat. The Big Three proved to be too dominant for the young star in the Chicago Bulls, losing to the Heat and missing out on their chance to make the NBA Finals, but there is still a lot of time for this team to reach their full potential, right?
Looking to sweep you guys. You wanted us. You were crying out that you bypassed the harder team in Miami Heat.
Rose came down bad on his left foot. See him holding onto his knee and down. He was flying and he came down wrong on the left foot. Now whether it was an ankle or a knee, I do not know.
During Game 1 of the 2012 playoffs versus the 76ers, Derrick Rose would tear his ACL. Many fans blamed coach Tom Thibodeau for leaving Rose on the court when the game was all but decided to this point. Not only would the Bulls lose this series, but Rose would be sidelined for all of the next season and a large majority of the following year. The next time we'd see Derrick Rose was in the 2014-2015 season, where you could see a decline in his athleticism and veracity. The injury clearly took a toll on his physical presence and mental willingness to push his body. He'd still have some success, averaging 17 points on the season and having himself a moment in the playoffs when going up against LeBron James and his newly formed team in Cleveland. D-Rose upped his play, averaging 20 points per game in that playoffs, and had a bank shot game winner in Game 3 to give his team a 2-1 series lead.
Finds Rose. Rose trying to get open, fires away. Bang! It's over! The Bulls win at the buzzer!
Unfortunately, This would be one of the final big moments for D Rose, as Chicago would lose this series and go on to have a less than stellar campaign in the 2015-2016 season. He was then promptly traded to the New York Knicks, which would mark a beginning of a new era for D Rose in the NBA.
Here it is.
What's up, E? You lying. You serious?
Averaging 18 points in 2016, he was clearly seen as the third option, and his place in the pecking order would only go down as his career progressed. The injuries would continue to pile up, and it would mark the last season D Rose would play over 60 games. His body failing to get back into peak shape proved to take a toll on him, as in 2017 he took time away from basketball to figure out if he wanted to continue playing. He would end up continuing his career, playing until 2024 as a serviceable role player in the league. He averaged 14 points, 4 assists in his last 6 years as an NBA player. He would end up getting his jersey retired by the Chicago Bulls in 2026, and even though his career didn't plan out to its fullest potential, Derrick Rose and his story still means so much to the NBA and the city of Chicago.